Oh yeah, thank y'all for tuning in to Unlabeled the podcast. I'm here quality episodes for y'all too. You know what I'm saying? We ain't like some shows out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know what? I don't think Kyrie before I talk. Should I set the tone first, bro?
Yeah, set the tone right quick, bro.
Right,
set the tone right quick,
man. Because like, y'all don't understand, man. This is big, bro.
Because you came in on some 808 heartdog. Like,
on some 808 heartbreak.
Right now, bro.
All right, bro.
Yeah. Damn, 24/7 Meek Mill radio listening to it.
Hey, dog, all he do is yell. If you don't get motivated listening to Meek, it's something seriously wrong with you.
Bro, for real. You might have to set Meek Mill as an alarm clock. You want to start your day off right.
Oh God, because you're gonna get up pure motivated. Oh shit. Man, but listen, y'all. Hey, LaQuandra, what up? What up? Come through on the 100. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we like to have
people in the chat.
Yeah, what up? But man, okay, so I'm gonna start on a little bit lighter of a note. Have you seen Moon Knight yet? Marvel's Moon Knight on Disney Plus?
I saw episode 1. I started episode 2 last night, but I didn't get to finish it. I'm literally at the beginning of episode 2, but I did see episode 1. What was your thoughts on the first one?
Man, listen, that's okay. It was intriguing. I'll put it like that to say the least. But I am not enjoying this show, bro. It is boring as hell. I fell asleep on the second episode last night.
So I will say, it wasn't the most entertaining show they've come out with, especially for a first episode. And I feel like it left a lot of questions unanswered. I definitely want to see more of Moon Knight, but from what I heard, we don't get to see more of Moon Knight until like episode 4. Mm-hmm. And what I heard is still a lot of questions that are going unanswered, but it's only like a 6 episode series, ain't it? So They don't got a lot of time to wrap everything up.
Right, they got 4 more episodes to wrap it up, and we only seen him in this costume twice. And I love Oscar Isaac too, man. He's a brilliant actor, but I just cannot get into the show for some reason. And you know, I'm a Marvel fanboy. I just can't rock with it, bro. I don't know what's going on. I've been really, really trying to get into it, dog, but it hadn't grabbed me yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I will say it has my intrigue more than Boba Fett. I ain't even gonna lie, because I ain't get into Boba Fett till what was it, episode 6 when we got Mandalorian, when we got Mando in the episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cracking. I think it was 5, but yeah,
5.
That was when it started cracking though. But Disney gonna have to do something, man, because well, I don't know if they start losing like they older viewership, because you know a lot of us have grown up. You know what I mean? It's going it's really gonna affect. It's really going to affect the dollars that's coming in from them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where I have to figure out to do something.
Disney gonna find out a way to make money, but I hope the show picks up. But yeah, it wasn't the best episode 1, but I enjoyed it. I give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. What I was gonna say? You watch Snowfall?
I have never seen Snowfall.
Dang, bro! Like I don't want to spoil it for you, dog, but I think it's starting to suffer from a little bit of that power. How power kind of went downhill after, you know, the first 2 seasons. It's kind of doing that because for some reason they decided to bring a tiger into the last episode. I ain't watched the one that premiered last night, y'all, so I ain't gonna give y'all no spoiler, but if y'all ain't caught up on it, they have a tiger in episode 5 for some reason.
Tiger King?
Bro, listen, in the middle of Los Angeles, this guy has a tiger, dog. That's all I'm gonna say. I ain't gonna really spoil the whole episode for the people who ain't seen it, but bro, it served no point to the story, but besides for him to kill 2 gangsters, that's all it did, dog. Like it had no point to the story at all.
Terrible writing. I'm just like, why the tiger? Like, because when I think of the idea, I'm like, that's kind of cool, that's kind of player, but if it don't serve no purpose to the story, then you know why is it there? There's probably a filler episode.
Now I do know some drug dealers who done had Panthers and Jaguars and stuff like that in the hood, bro. But like in the middle of Los Angeles, to have a big ass tiger in your backyard in the cage, fam, like serves no purpose.
Right. You remember the episode of Atlanta when Cat Williams had that pet alligator?
Yes.
That's how you do an episode with somebody with a random animal. Because that episode was cracking.
Listen, dude, great, terrible writing though. But like, I'm still enjoying this season. It ain't spun too far out of whack yet. But you can tell when writers start running out of material.
Mm-hmm. You can tell immediately.
Mm-hmm. But man, so. We like I said, as y'all can see on the screen, we had the 100th episode, and I got broke guys up there for y'all who who don't know our local Milwaukee colloquialism. And yes, LaQuandra, it is because John Singleton passed, clearly, because they are not doing a very good job with this show. But yeah, we say that a lot in Wisconsin. We just call you broke for no reason. If you got money, we still gonna call you broke. Broke guy.
Facts. It don't matter. I got called a broke guy yesterday for switching to Samsung. So
yeah. But this is part one, because y'all see that we ain't got the whole cast with us today. Yeah. So we're gonna do a part one and part two Sunday. We're gonna kind of go over a little bit more, but we just want to share a little bit with what we've learned. You know what I'm saying, over the last couple of years of doing this podcast, and just about being consistent and everything. Kyrie, you fairly new, but you've been a friend of the show for a while. What have you noticed, like, with the growth in this show?
Man, so I will say this. When y'all very, very first started the show, like, you can tell a huge difference. Like, everybody's a little bit more comfortable with speaking and being able to go into their dialect. And, like, the productions increase. Obviously, the fan bases increase, the subscribers, like, the professionalism, everything is just really becoming, like, very well-rounded. And it's good to see that, you know, from my friends having that level of success and being able to jump out there. Because if you go listen to episode 1 to episode 100, just you yourself, you could tell a huge difference in how you were presenting information and, you know, entertaining your listeners and everything like that. And that goes for everybody. Blaze, you know, Montre, Kendall, and stuff like that. So it's fun to see, and I'm glad to be a part of it too, man. So
yeah, bro. Yeah, I definitely had to bring you on board, bro, because you're a very talented brother yourself. And also, like I said, for me, I'm just gonna give everybody who wants to do anything creative, from a podcasting standpoint, from a content creation point, man, you got to do it scared. Go back and listen to episode 1. You can hear how nervous I was. You can hear it in my voice. I mean, I'm speeding through topics. I'm trying to give Kendall his flowers, you know what I'm saying, to let him know how much he contributed to my growth over the years. You know what I'm saying? And in this episode, I'm just like, you can hear the amount of nerves in my voice, man. So I cringe going back and listen to older episodes, you know what I'm saying? But it's still fun to see, you know what I'm saying? But the more comfortable we got, like Kyrie said, that was definitely one of the hurdles we got to. So my advice to y'all is, if y'all doing anything, you're gonna have to jump out the plane. You're gonna have to jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down, like, straight up. You got to do stuff scared sometimes. You got to do it. It ain't never gonna be perfect. One of our new subscribers was listening to the Bonnet Chronicle earlier today, and I clicked on that episode, and I just cringed looking at that, like, man, our set was trash, everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's good to see. It's good to see. Like I said, I'm happy and I'm proud of myself with the growth that I've put in, and, you know, and over the last 2 years. And I'm also proud of my team. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I really could not do this program without my friends, like, you know what I mean? So I really appreciate each and every one of y'all, even the listeners, you know, the ones that hop up in the chat and give us problems every episode.
Right. But yeah, one thing you said too, man, is just do it. Just jump out of the ledge and do it. A lot of people, and I was super, super guilty of this, I wanted everything to be perfect before I started. And that really gets you nowhere. Perfection is in the process. So literally just do it, go through your growing pains, and grow as you create.
Yeah, facts. So so that's definitely my advice to all y'all creators. And like I said, you'll find your voice when you're doing something, even if you kind of start off like imitating somebody else. You'll find your voice. Your unique self will come out in that in trying to, you know, just producing content and trying to even copy somebody else. That's kind of how it was when I started photography and cinematography. I was actually mimicking my mentor, and then my unique voice and, like, you know what I'm saying, and the way in my eye and everything started coming out. And he even recognized that, you know what I'm saying? He even recognized my style coming out, because he would see my work and be like, that looked like Will work, and I didn't have my name on it. You know what I mean? So like I said, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing if y'all in the content creating field, man. Like I said, just that's my biggest thing to you, is just continue to do it, and y'all will see you will see the growth. You said it's like working a muscle, man. You know what I'm saying? And even in here, y'all see when I mess up live on the air, when I put the wrong thing on the screen, if I ain't got recording audio, y'all see it. I like to poke fun at myself from time to time when y'all see me mess up on the show. That's why I like doing it live. But we like I said, man, you just got to keep at it. And like I said, even in those things, nothing's ever going to be perfect. Just rock with it. You know what I mean? Just rock with it and work through it.
Absolutely. Very well said. I couldn't have said it better myself, bro. And again, to all the subscribers, man, thank y'all for the people that show up weekly and y'all comment and y'all engaging. We really appreciate that to the maximum, for sure.
And like I said, if I can help any of y'all build y'all platforms, give y'all any ideas on how to start a podcast, y'all know y'all can reach out to me. I've helped some of our listeners already, but like I said, 100% feel free to reach out to us. Kyrie's a bit of an expert too, so I'm gonna start pushing some of y'all his way.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Because I'm only the way I learn. I like people to ask me questions because they make me find the answer too. So if I don't know, I will find out for sure.
Yeah, straight up. Hey, so let me go ahead and get into some of these topics today because we got.
Let's go.
Yeah, the docket ain't too long today. Like I said, it's a Thursday. You know, we kind of like just sit back and kind of do it casually on Thursdays. But as many of y'all know, we still at war with Ukraine, and brother Kyrie had some updates for us as far as Ukraine goes, but not so much. But some of the things that go on over there and how he's going to juxtapose that against some of the things that happen in the United States. So go ahead, brother.
Okay.
I'll let you rock.
Absolutely. So right now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we ain't even talking about Ukraine that much. It's gonna be real small. So one of our listeners asked us to talk about war crimes, and the reason they asked is me and Jerome, we're both veterans, so we have experience with what a war crime is, and basically, what they're considering a war crime in Ukraine happens to black citizens every day in this country. So we look at the situation where black men who are unarmed are killed without posing a threat to police officers. In the theater of war, that is a war crime. And what I mean by that is, this is a real life story. When we were in Iraq, I seen an Iraqi man with an AK-47, and I was like, nervous. This is I think this is like one of my first missions, and I'm like, yo, is he a threat? Like, we gonna get, bro? Like, what we gonna do with this? And they're like, we can't do anything. They gotta shoot back at us first, right? So that right there is hypocritical to what a war crime is versus when it comes to what we deal with as black citizens in America, because we can be killed without even posing a threat to an officer. If I were to detain someone and suffocate them in a situation like George Floyd, where his air was taken from him, that's a war crime in Iraq. You cannot just kill people because you want to. You cannot just shoot into buildings. You cannot be violently reckless. You cannot pose a threat to the citizens of that country unless they pose a threat to you. And even if there is a threat, there's a specific escalation force that you need to go through as a United States soldier before you can pose any threat to a citizen of that sovereign nation. But here in America, war crimes are okay for the citizens as long as they're black, because we see ourselves being an enemy of the state every single year, every single month, every single week. There are war crimes perpetuated against us because of the color of our skin. That's what I wanted to talk about for war crimes. It's completely hypocritical of, again, they want to create the narrative that, oh, they look like us, so we're going to feel bad. But when we look at ourselves, we're like, well, this is happening to us in our own country. You know what I'm saying? And it's just irritating. You know what I'm saying? That we have these things going on, and people are calling it war crime. It is a very devastating thing. I don't want to take any gravity away from the situation at hand of what's happening in Ukraine. Yes, I get it. It's sad. But like I said on this podcast, we're worried about black issues and how they affect us.
Right. Well said, my brother. And also, like, when you become, about how long does it take to become a cop? That was the question I was going to ask you. Do you know about how long does it take to become a cop? Anybody
Man,
in the
I feel
chat?
like it's less than 6 months. I don't even, let me see right quick how long it takes to graduate the academy. That's another thing. When you look at how long it takes for citizens of other countries to become a cop, it's way longer than it is here. And if you compare it to specific professions in America, like say if you want to be a barber or a cosmetologist, their schooling is actually longer than police officers. And these are the people that are, we've given the responsibility to police our nation. But let me Google this really quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to, the reason I asked that is because like, I know we go through quite a bit. 6 months. Okay, 6 months to become a cop.
6 months. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought.
And yeah, with the combination of basic training and AIT, advanced individual training in the military, it takes it takes a little while before you become, an active duty soldier. You know what I mean? Especially speaking from the Army standpoint. And we continually train as well.
Right. We continually train. But not only that, like the training that we go through specifically, it's literally meant so we don't have issues when it comes to war crimes. When we're going through these houses and they have cutouts of citizens, like that's us training for that discipline, right? But we're fighting for our country. We don't get the same protection that the police officers get here. They got the police union. If they do something, they're not held accountable for their crimes. But if a soldier does something out of, maybe fear, again, you're in the theater of war. So your adrenaline, like your decision making, everything has to be quicker. And again, I'm not taking anything from police officers, but at the same time, I just feel like, again, it's hypocritical if we're comparing, cops training and military training and, the standard that we're held to versus the standard that cops are held to.
Yeah. And talk about like the Geneva Convention, so to speak, like what is the protocol when us as soldiers get fired on, and how we have to engage and all that type of stuff, how we have to handle that situation.
Yeah, so with the rules, we got something called ROEs, called the rules of regulations for those rules of engagement. For those that don't know, sorry about that. So basically, what the rules of engagement are is basically like a 4-step threat level process. So essentially, like, you got to go through a verbal warning. You got to go through a warning shot before you can even fire on somebody. And then when I went to Iraq, we actually couldn't engage in any conflict unless we had the Iraqi army with us. So that's what the rules of engagement are. There are certain levels that we have to go through before we can escalate physical force.
My bad. I think I had my phone on. My bad. But no, definitely. It's so funny that you want to bring this up today, because I definitely had a conversation with somebody around the time that Mike Brown was killed about the way he handled himself with the cop, and he didn't have any weapon on his body, and the police officer was actually arguing with me. He was saying, well, there's always a weapon on the scene because the officer is carrying one, basically. So if a citizen is reaching for his gun, I'm like, nah, fam. Come on now.
No, because what's crazy is, like, bro, we literally had a mission brief one time where they were like, all right, expect contact, but we cannot fire back. But you know what I'm saying? When you look at that situation versus compared to what that officer just told you, they basically giving them the go ahead. Well, it's always a weapon on scene, so you might as well, type of thing. Like, that's what I'm hearing right now, basically.
Mm-hmm. And this is why major reform is needed. You know what I'm saying? Because the current system isn't working. It's not working at all for Black citizens, and we know that that police killings ain't a large part of the deaths in the United States. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it still happens too often, and for with that, they're supposed to be peacekeepers. They're supposed to be protecting and serving, not engaging and destroying. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like major reform is definitely in serious need in this country. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. I agree. Now let's talk about this 5% Ukraine situation. Like I said, I want to touch on it really quick. It's definitely unfortunate what's happening over there. Like, nobody wants to be in war, especially citizens of a war. But again, I find it funny how, again, as America, we can talk about war crimes, but we don't talk about our war crimes and the things that we do. But we could point the finger at another country and specifically point out their sins without recognizing our own sins and the damage and the trauma that we have caused over generations of colonialism. So it's just crazy to me. That's what I said. Like I said, prayers and thoughts with the civilians of Ukraine. But essentially, that's what they're mentioning too. Russia's going crazy, and there is. I'm not going to go into the details because it's a little bit too violent to get into on this platform. But it's a sad place right now for the Ukrainian citizens.
100%, man. So thoughts and prayers out to them first and foremost. I don't, I was gonna say something, but I'm gonna spare us because we got listeners who like to listen to our show with minors. So I was gonna say something, so I hold my tongue. But yeah, thoughts and prayers out to Ukraine, man. And let's go ahead and move into this next topic. Black Lives Matter.
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this one. Go ahead, start that off.
Well, for the listeners who've been under a rock, the Black Lives Matter has basically come under fire because their donations were used to purchase a house, a $6 million mansion to be specific. They received over $60 million in donations, and the initial founder, she left the organization, and later on was found out that she purchased a $6 million mansion. It's supposed to be like a party house, or so to speak. And we like to be very, very critical, of white infrastructures and things of that nature. But we also got to keep it real when something that's supposed to be for our community isn't doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And this is the one very, very one case that we can point to. So Kyrie, if you go ahead and expound, we'll update this thing on the screen, brother.
Okay, so yeah, so one, this is not their first time doing that, Jerome. They actually came under fire like a year or two ago for buying another mansion. It was like a $3 million mansion. This $6 million mansion, this was it a $6 million mansion? You said, right?
$6 million. Last time I heard the report, so it could be a little more, it could be a little less, because she purchased multiple properties. But I believe this latest one was the $6 million one. This was after George Floyd.
Right. So she purchased a property on both coasts of the country for her wife. But basically, what I want to get into is kind of the hypocrisy of the Black Lives Matter Foundation. So I was always critical of this foundation, especially in the things that they were doing around 2020. And I'll explain why I was critical. The reason why I was critical is because, again, I'm seeing all these funds being donated, but we don't know how these funds have been allocated to the betterment of our community. And for the most part, the question arises, what do we need donations for protests outside of, like, you know, getting water or like things that are people say for? Because again, that was their primary focus, was kind of civil engagement. And I could understand like travel and all those other things, but they amassed a total of $90 million over the 8 years that they have been in service, right? So I want to bring up a quote to you guys about what Black Lives Matter supposedly stands for, as it opposes to what they actually did. And this is a quote from the founder. She said, "We want to uplift Black joy and liberation, not just Black death. We want to see Black communities thriving, not just surviving." So, and again, the foundation said it could, like, when we look at the numbers, the foundation said it committed $21.7 million in grant funding to official and unofficial Black Lives Matter chapter. What is the unofficial Black Lives Matter chapter, Jerome?
Right.
That sound like you throwing some bread to your friends or something like that, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I have no clue, bro. Definitely a loophole.
Yeah, that's a loophole. An unofficial Black Lives Matter chapter, right? As well as 30 Black-led organizations. I want to do some more work into figuring out what those organizations is. And as you said, it ended 2020 with a balance of more than $60 million after spending nearly a quarter of its assets on the grants, funds, and other charitable giving. So again, what's happening with that money is not adding up with what their mission statement is. And I want to read their mission statement too. I know I'm getting a little bit long-winded, but I just want to give you guys context about this. So I'm on Black Lives Matter page right now. But while I'm looking for this, what do you think of what I said so far, basically? What are your thoughts on that?
That they full of shit, but keep going. I've been saying this for the longest.
Yeah, so I don't even know.
YouTube algorithm.
I don't even know if you remember, because I went crazy on, like, when I was on Facebook, I went crazy on Black Lives Matter, and I was basically saying, like, yo, they're just funneling money to the Democratic Party, and they're spending this money. And my curiosity led me to go to Black Lives Matter webpage, and I also followed the money trail, because at that time you could see where some of their funding was going. But when you read their mission statement, it seems like they're not an advocate for all Black people. They're advocates for a specific group of Black people, a minority group of Black people, which are the transgender community.
Go ahead, Carvel. Go ahead.
What, I'm spitting right now?
You spitting. Hey, because you saving me some time, brother. Go do your thing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carvel.
Go ahead, Carvel.
We used to be, and he said, we used to be Care Bears. I always fancied myself as a Funshine Bear.
If y'all don't know what we're talking about a Key and Peele sketch called Manly Tears. YouTube that after this if y'all don't know.
Please go watch Manly Tears after this. But okay, so I'm reading something, right? So Black Lives Matter was founded in 2013 in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, Andrew Zimmerman. Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, Inc. is a global organization in the U.S., the U.K., and Canada. So they're in 3 countries, whose mission is to eradicate white supremacy and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on Black communities by the state and vigilantes by combating and countering acts of violence, creating space for Black imagination and innovation, and centering Black joy. We are winning immediate improvements in our lives. It sound good. It sound good, but it's not true. Y'all haven't done anything. When I looked at Black Lives Matter's actions and what they've done for our community in 2020, it was zilch. They bought a billboard for 21 Savage because of his case when he was incarcerated. Well, no, not incarcerated. I don't want to use that word, but he had his issue with his visa or something like that at the time.
Yeah.
Or was it Jerome?
Yeah.
But yeah, they built him a billboard. Why is Black Lives Matter money going to a 21 Savage billboard? One, the dude already got money. Two, he got record label lawyers. We don't want our money being invested in that. What you guys said you were going to do was build local power and intervene in violence inflicted on black communities. What y'all said y'all was going to do was repair our neighborhoods. But all I see you doing is buying $1 million of mansions with your wives and giving millions of dollars to unofficial Black Lives Matter groups that we don't even know exist. So what are you doing with the money? That's the question, because y'all been established for 9 years, and it wasn't until year 8 that you released any financial statements to the Associated Press. So what happened with the money? That's my question.
Gunshots. Broke ass.
What happened with the money? We need answers.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. You already know what happened with the money, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I have been critical of this group since they came out because their mission statement was full of it. Like you said, it's not a specific agenda for our community, and this is why I like to talk about. Like, this is why we've had the conversation for 2 episodes about reparations. Like, so we know what the proposed legislation is, what these groups and these people are doing, so we can be informed on how we're going to move forward, right? So for all y'all who are saying, oh, we don't need this and we don't need that, and not fam, they gonna move forward with it anyway. So unless we got a voice, unless we got an opinion, unless we go into these town hall meetings and these groups that are forming these legislation get involved with politics, right? They just gonna do shit, and that's what Black Lives Matter has been doing. You know what I mean? So. Like I said, this is why we're critical of them, and me and Kyrie have been critical of them since they founded the organization. You know what I mean? So now y'all can actually get a peek behind the curtain, and it's a damn shame that I had to come to this. You know what I'm saying? When she first stepped down and started buying houses, I knew that was a red flag for me right there too. So this has been going on for a while.
And she's a Marxist, if I'm not mistaken. But also, I can't even find it because right now, if you go to their page, they've completely changed their page because they understand they're in hot water. They've completely changed their mission statement as well. In 2020,
they call us runners, but it is not what we're called that matters.
What
it's
the
what
hell?
We're called to.
Hey, listen, dog. I'm sorry. I clicked on the episode. I clicked on the article for the next topic, and they started playing an ad on.
Articles start going crazy.
Listen, bro,
like F y'all podcast,
that's
bro.
What I'm saying. Like, oh God, bro, I'm gonna have to beep that whole thing out. CBS News is out of control, fam.
CBS News way out of control.
No, I almost went deaf over here. But okay, back to the topic though. Keep saying what you were saying. My bad, bro.
That was disrespectful as CBS for the 100th episode. I ain't rocking with them right now, bro.
But CBS.
What you say?
I said, relax, CBS, down, boy. Go ahead, though.
Right. Yeah. But okay, so yeah, they've completely changed their mission statement because a lot of people have been critical. But when I read their mission statement in 2020, they were talking about disruption of the nuclear family, and they also, again, they're not for heterosexual men. It's again, I literally just read it today, but it looks like they got rid of that too. But basically, they were talking about the empowerment of transgender blacks in that specific minority group, but they weren't for the betterment of the black community as a whole. That's the point that I wanted to get out. You guys can go to their website. It's still up. But like I said, they've deleted a lot of stuff off their YouTube. She deleted background of the mansion off YouTube, or whoever controls that media source. They've changed their articles. They've changed a lot of stuff because they are under hot water. But I am glad that their finances are coming into question. But this also imposes a very important message for y'all. Understand who y'all giving y'all money to at the end of the day, because everybody's not for you. And again, we look at wolves in sheep's clothing every day. We're looking at wolves in sheep's clothing right now with the Democratic Party, how they come to us every year and say they're going to help us out. They're going to do this. They just want our vote. Just like Black Lives Matter just wanted our money. They really didn't care. They spending that bread how they want to. They live in their lives.
Facts. So, Brother Kyrie, thank you for that wonderful breakdown. I hope everybody understood where he's coming from, and not to, like I said, we ain't trying to like bash or bring down, but it's just the facts. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, y'all can't argue with the facts. Y'all can say, you know, this group is about it, but this is why we want y'all to make informed decisions on this podcast. We ain't trying to tell y'all how to think. I mean, teach y'all what to think. We trying to tell y'all how to think. You know what I mean? So so what y'all can do is critically think about these topics and apply them to y'all lives and how y'all maneuver in y'all political spaces. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have enough of that in our community. We definitely need that. That's what we try to push on this show. But on a lighter note and more positive note, Kentanji Brown has been appointed as the first Black woman to be a part of the Supreme Court. So this article is from CBS News. Thank you for your loud ass ads in the background. That was posted earlier today about 7:30 p.m. It says the Senate voted to confirm Judge Kentanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court on Thursday, submitting her place in history as the first Black woman to serve at the nation's highest court. Let me get a gunshot for that. Jackson confirmation is the 116th justice in the U.S. history to receive a bipartisan backing. With a final vote of 53 to 47 in the upper chambers, 3 Republican Senators Susan Collins of Maine, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, and Mitt Romney of Utah joined all 50 Democrats in supporting the President Biden's nominee. Vice President Kamala Harris, the first woman of color to hold the role, presided over the Senate during the vote. On this vote, the yeas were 53, the nays were 47, and the nomination is confirmed. Harris said to a rousing applause from the senators. Jackson's appointment to the high court is likely to be a significant component to Mr. Biden's legacy and marks his first opportunity to make an imprint on the Supreme Court. But Jackson will not take the bench immediately, as Justice Stephen Breyer, whose seat will fill, is poised to retire at the end of the Supreme Court term this summer. So shout out to Kentanji Brown, man. Absolutely. I don't know much about the sister. I did a little research. Couldn't really find nothing against her or anything bad that she's done. But it's good to see our sisters making strides like this, man. And I really this is probably the best move that Biden has done since he's been elected president. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this, brother?
So first off, I love it, right? But I'm a bit critical of it, but not in a bad way, right? I love that she's the first African American, and it's definitely a sister that got that seat, right? But my thoughts is
don't just give your thoughts.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
happy.
Yeah.
I'm definitely happy. It's a step in the right direction because these are the places as Black people that we need to be in. These are the positions that we need to be in to be able to influence change, right? So it's one thing to actually be a part of that movement and support that movement, but it's another thing to just be a face. So I'm hoping in this situation it's just not a face to appease Black people in this moment or appease whatever type of political agenda that they got. But I am really happy. What I did want to talk about that though is, and I'm gonna curve it a little bit. I don't know if you got to the part where there were some Republicans who were trying to kind of give him backlash to why she shouldn't have been selected, right? Basically, in the rest of the article, it was saying approval of Jackson's nomination by the evenly divided Senate capped the confirmation process that was marked by Republican attempts to paint her as soft on crime activist judge who would legislate from the bench. And what the soft on crime, what these guys were referring to were some of her child pornography cases. So they were pointing that out about how she was given lesser sentences in those situations. But I took the time to fact check that. And basically what I found is her sentencing was pretty much on par with everybody else did. Now, the funny part is we talk about giving lesser sentences for those types of crimes, but there also were 3 Republican judges who were giving lesser sentences for those crimes, but they weren't called out for that situation. Now, speaking of the hypocrisy of how we sentence Black Americans in this country, we know it is completely different. So nobody on that side should be talking about lesser sentences when people are, being murderers and they're doing all these things. We look at the case in Dallas at Amber Geiger where she only got 10 years and, we talk about that stuff. So I don't see that as an issue with her. But like I said, I hope that it turns out to be a really good thing for us.
Facts. Yeah, man. Like I said, one more time for Kentanji Brown, bro. Let me get one more gunshot for her, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all, like, yeah, support the sister, man. Hopefully she do some good things. Hopefully she is of us. You know what I'm saying? and try to make some proper changes. But you know, the more blackness we get at the top, the more things seem to change from a demographic standpoint in this country. The next topic.
We got to remember, all skin folk ain't kin folk.
Ain't kin folks, facts. Let me click on this article. I'm kind of terrified right now, bro, because I hope it don't play no ad.
Hey, if it do, we just going to roll with it.
Yeah, we just gonna, on God, we just going to roll with it. But last week on this show, we talked about America's waterways, and we talked about how over 50% of American waterways were polluted. Water wasn't safe for drinking, fishing, or any recreational activity. And we have an update this week from theweek.com. Actually, there's been plenty of articles that cover this, but this was posted on April 6th. Water Clean Water Act is no longer holds water. Y'all give me 1 second so I can update this on the screen. And I apologize because Clean Water Act. My bad, y'all. And I spelled clean wrong, so now I got to go back and fix that. See, this is what I'm talking about. I make fun of myself live on the air, fam, every day, every week.
Bro, I didn't even see it. How did you spell clean?
I spelled this. You can't see it because I didn't change it. I'm transitioning now, but I typed it wrong. But anyway, Clean Water Act. So Clean Water Act no longer holds water. So let me see. Let me scroll down because there's a lot of fluff in the beginning of this article, y'all. Okay, so it says the latest blow to the Clean Water Act came Wednesday when the Supreme Court delivered a 5-4 unsigned order that at least temporarily reinstates a Trump-era rule limiting states and tribes' ability to block the dumping of pollutants into America's waterways. But while the decision is as ghoulish and terrible as it sounds, the Clean Water Act has long been riddled with loopholes to prevent achieving fishable, swimmable drinking waters. 50 years after the Clean Water Act was passed in 1972, around half of the lakes and rivers across the country, like we spoke about last week, classified as impaired. High country news rights, meaning they're fishing. The fish are inedible. I'm sorry. Their water is undrinkable, and they're unsafe for humans to swim in, and inhospitable for aquatic life. So here we go. Y'all see we have a myriad of issues right now in this country. Food shortages on the way. Trucking. I don't know if what are they striking? Are the trucks people striking, or they just can't fill the jobs, or whatever the case may be? I don't know what the issue is with trucking, so y'all got to forgive me. I'm uninformed on that. But we got a myriad of problem, and this just adds to that. So they, like I said, they kind of basically repealed it for, I think it was 20 southern states, where they can basically do whatever they want with the water. But to our point, there's always been loopholes to get around the Clean Water Act. Like you can literally purchase, what was it, a license, Kyrie, that you spoke about last week?
Yeah, you could get a license, and it's a state mandated program, man. It's a program mandated by the state, right? So yeah, like I already knew those loopholes was coming. So the fact that this were happening, so the fact that this information came out it's everything we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm. And somebody pointed in the chat that said, "Be clear all the way." I forgot to shout him out at the beginning of the show, so it's a good time to bring it up now since we're talking about water. Our good brother Nurse Mahdi is going to Africa. He's going to Kenya. He's going to they're going to dig a well over there that's going to supply Kenyans with water for the next 15 to 20 years. That's what the ad is running before the show. And you can actually click the link in our description of this show right now on YouTube, and you'll see a link to donate to him. He's a good brother. Like I said, he has a wonderful product. Y'all can go subscribe to his Instagram or follow him on Instagram at BeClearH2O, and go to BeClearH2O.com, I believe is his website. We can actually order cases of water on there. But he's what he's doing is trying to reduce America's carbon emission. He bottles his water in aluminum and it's pH balanced. I've heard rave reviews about it. I haven't quite tried it myself yet. But when I do, I will definitely give you guys my review. Kendall is the expert in that area. But yeah, man, support brother Mahdi. If y'all really want to get to know a little bit more about him, we did an interview with him on. It's actually up on our YouTube right now. It's I forgot the name of it, but if you type in Nurse Mahdi or just scroll down, you should see it in our feed. But yeah. No, back to
childish right now.
What are you about to say, dog? Don't be childish.
The Kendall mustache drink be clear, dog.
Dog, listen, man. We got to get past these things. It's a mustache. It grows back. Hey, go ahead.
That goes to show you beards are makeup for men. I've never cut my beard.
Yeah, hey, C Still said, look, see, so one of our listeners right now said, C Still said that AP gave him a bottle of it. He said it's fire. So, like I said, support that brother, y'all.
And bro, it's crazy because the chat wasn't updating for me. You reading all these comments, and I'm like, where are these comments at? I had to start the app over.
Oh, okay, yeah, but they in there. Yeah, they've been going crazy in the chat. But yeah, man, like I don't know what we need to do, how we need to vote, how we need to whatever we need to do to fix this clean water issue that we have in the United States. We definitely need to come together because, like I said, over 50% of the United States clean water is polluted right now. This should be alarming to a lot of y'all. So everybody who don't like to get involved with politics, y'all need to figure out who the right people to vote to support this Clean Water Act, man, so we can get this situated. Or even if it's some reform that needs to happen with the act itself, you know what I mean? Because we spoke to the loopholes last week. So
the crazy thing about this is, and it's really sad, Jerome, is people have been talking about this for years. These environmental issues that we've been going through, we've been trying to get people to change these things for years. And it's getting scary because it's getting to a point of being irreversible. Like they said, at this point, climate change is irreversible. Climate change with polluted water and food shortages is not good at all. So we really need to get out here, guys, like use y'all voices. You know what I'm saying? Like, be sure you get out there, vote for the local people, go to these community town hall meetings, figure out what's going on, what legislations are being passed and how they affect you. Start being knowledgeable about what's going on around you, so we can start to make change on these things immediately, because the more voices that speak up, the more that we vote for our wallet, the more change that we could put out.
Facts. And it's a lot of people don't act like they don't have a voice, but like I said, you can affect a lot of stuff at your local level. And this is why we try to be entertaining on the show, but we also try to provide y'all a lot of information, like straight up, because like it's a lot of shows out here that's not telling you these things. And that's why we harp on this stuff every week, because this stuff is going to affect all of us. You know what I mean? We everyday citizens just like y'all. This stuff is going to affect our kids, everything. So these are things that we need to be aware of.
Absolutely.
Kyrie, I'm gonna pass this next topic off to you. I'll update this thing on the screen, but it's about the consumer debt jump.
All right, let me pull up that article right quick.
All right, bro.
Let's see.
Hopefully this one don't blast. This is from the week as well, man. The week is going off. I see. I gotta subscribe to them because I didn't know much about this publication at all. Oh, that was wrong.
Not me pulling up the Clean Water Act article.
Right, I just did the same thing, bro. Like,
I just did the same thing,
definitely won the week. My bad.
All right, so this article we reading right now is about U.S. consumer debt jumped by $40 billion in February. As you guys know, we are in an economic crisis. I don't know why the government's acting like everything's all roses and they could just take out loans for $1.7 billion and everybody's just increasing inflation, and it's cool to just do that. But whatever. Let's get into this article, guys. Americans got into a lot more debt in February as rampant inflation kept up the pressure. The Federal Reserve's consumer credit report showed Thursday debt levels jumped by nearly $42 billion to a total of almost $4.5 trillion. That's an annual increase.
Slow it down and say it one more time for the people in the back, Kyrie.
Yeah. So debt levels have jumped by nearly $42 billion to a total of almost $4.5 trillion. It's a lot of money for people that ain't got no money. That's an annual increase of 11.3% seasonally adjusted, far outperforming economists' expectations and setting a new high in January. Total credit had grown only 2.4%. The Fed's historical credit data goes back to the early 1940s. Revolving credit, which includes credit cards, jumped by 20.7% to about $1.1 trillion. The category increased by only 4% in the prior month. Non-revolving credit, such as student loans, car loans, grew by 8.4% to $3.4 trillion, also outpacing a smaller January gain. Americans have been challenged with the rapid pace of price increases everywhere, from the grocery store to the gas station. Year-over-year inflation has increased at a pace not seen in 40 years. Consumer spending has kept up the pace so far, but it's not immediately clear whether that's because people are paying more for the same items that got more expensive or are actually buying more services and goods. In late February, Russia's invasion of Ukraine jolted global energy markets and boosted the price of gasoline. With the prices at the pump rising higher in March, credit card spending is unlikely to have gone down after the February jump. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, my immediately thoughts is, when things affect America in a negative way, it typically affects the least of us the most. So if all you wondering why I've been so hell-bent on reparations and informing y'all about reparations, and if all of y'all are concerned about why that is because they're saying by 2053, Black Americans will own zero assets. So all these numbers that we just read off to y'all, do y'all not understand the significance of reparations and how we can close the wealth gap and how that can benefit us as a community? Otherwise, we keep going the way that we going, and some of y'all are in debt. Some of y'all rock the name brand shit, got every pair of Jordans that come out every fucking week instead of bolstering your portfolio and wondering why these debt numbers are looking like this. You see what I'm saying? So this is why I'm so hell-bent on financial freedom, about getting out of debt, and about owning shit. So for all y'all who understand, that's what my mission has been, to educate y'all. Because I know a lot of y'all ain't reading these articles like we read them. And so that's my major thought, because this shit is going to affect the Black community the most.
Right. Definitely. Like we got to become financially literate in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the new iPhone 13 if your tire's bald and you got student loans and all these other things. You don't need none of that stuff. What we need to be doing is reading these books. All the knowledge that we need to know about financial literacy is in these books. There's great podcasts out that teach Black people about finances, like Earn Your Leisure. You just got to look at those things. And eventually, obviously, we're going to be in that space too. The more we continue to grow and the more we become financially literate, so we can pass that information down to you guys. But it is important, because owning 0% assets in 2023 is ludicrous. And as we know, the Black dollar, what's that?
2053.
53.
That's what economists are saying. So if y'all wondering where I'm getting that figure from, it ain't some shit I'm just pulling off the hip.
Right. So again, we already know that the Black dollar doesn't stay in our communities long, because we get it and we spend it. But we need to be better with that, and we need to do it in a hurry. So again, like Jerome said, if y'all want to be creators, or if y'all got dreams, go out and do it. Don't sit on them dreams, because that's how you're going to get the bag. Like, that's how you're going to be able to achieve financial wealth, generational wealth, so we can start to build this and start to change the trajectory of where our community is headed.
Fact. So just some numbers that should scare the shit out of all y'all, and I want y'all to be scared, because honestly, that's the only way a lot of people gonna change is by being scared and actually noticing what's going on in this country. You know what I mean?
Right.
But let me bring some levity to the conversation, because we've been kind of going on. I'm not sure if y'all listen. I think this just happened today. Or was that? No, this happened yesterday. This article is from CBS Tennis. A junior tennis match ends with players slapping opponent at the net, causing a brawl at the tournament. Like, I don't know if this was inspired by Will Smith or SNL cast wrote this, or who wrote this, but this shit was hysterical. So if y'all want to go, I'm gonna post the article in the chat right now so y'all can see this, because I guess this dude got beat real bad and decided to walk up on the tennis player when they normally shake hands at the net, and he slapped the shit out of this dude. Like, and then if y'all look at the brawl that ensued afterwards, man, all the and this clearly were our people. These were Africans. They all. Hey, listen, bro. I don't know if they was Nigerian, what they was, but they started slapping the shit out of everybody in the tournament. Was slapping.
Not Malice at the Palace in tennis.
Yes, bro, in tennis, bro. Like, just to bring some levity. But I'll put the link in the thing so y'all in the chat so y'all can view this, man. But this was hysterical when I saw this.
Will Smith got the world going crazy.
Got him going crazy, bro. Like, everybody just slapping the shit out of everybody in 2022, man. Like, what is going on? It's gonna be a whole lot of slapping going on when this water ain't clean and when this food shortage comes. Niggas gonna be in line at Walmart smacking the shit out of each other.
Right. Hey, and my grandma, the original slap OG, she used to tell me every time I get in trouble, boy, I slap the taste out your mouth. Yeah.
Clearly, that's what Will Smith did to Chris. He slapped the words out of his mouth. He forgot where he was at for a second. We giving the prize for the documentary. I mean, giving an award for the documentary.
Bro, cheek was rosy as hell.
Rosy as hell, man. But man, I think we didn't cover the whole docket, bro.
We have, and we had some good topics today, though. We went crazy today.
Yeah.
Oh, Also, so speaking on this, I wanted to hit on this right quick, right? Speaking on the Black Lives Matter thing. So, last week we had two people come and comment on my page on a video, and basically they were antagonizing you about what you said regarding the Will Smith slap, juxtaposed to the energy that was given to the riot on January 6th. And one of the things they said was, well, what about Black Lives Matter? What are your thoughts on that, bro, and how that conversation went?
Well, my main thought about that is, listen, like if I every time I say something about white people, like, okay, so first of all, like, I do use the term white people a lot, and I've spoken to this before on this podcast about what I mean by that. It's an ideology. It's not about the color of the skin. And to all my white brothers and sisters who I may have offended by using the term white when I'm referring to something, it's not to offend you. Like, literally, I'm using that term as far as, like I said, the ideology surrounding race. Because just like when people say, oh, black people don't do that, or what, I'm saying, it's the same thing. It's an ideology, and white in this country comes a privilege when you identify as white, when you what's the word I'm looking for? I can't even think about it right now. Like, because if y'all want to go back, listen to my episode "Resetting the Room." I do a deep dive on whiteness. I wasn't prepared for this right now, but I'm glad Kyrie asked this, because, like I said, it's not to offend you. It's just to let you know that you identify with a certain ideology. That's it. It's really not so much about your skin tones, because it's white Mexicans, it's white Asian people. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mexicans and Asians have been considered, or Hispanics, I should say, have been considered white on the census since the 60s. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. Y'all can Google that shit. You know what I mean? It's not, that's why they say white with his Hispanic descent or black with Hispanic descent. Like I said, so it's an ideology. It's not so much about the skin. That's the way I'm using it, at least. It's not so much about the skin tone. And I was really talking about the media, because I was saying the media had more smoke for Will Smith than they did with the January 6th rioters. You know what I mean? Like, there was a talk, some people were calling for Will Smith to go to jail, you know what I'm saying, and kept saying he assaulted them, and even though Chris Rock wasn't, hurt it. So that's why I went that way. But it also exposes people, and that's why I like to use the term white a lot, because honestly, it exposes you. Like, if you can sit up there and get offended by me speaking that way as a black man, it just raises a red flag that you might have a little bit of bias in your way of thought. I won't call it racism, but I'll call it bias in your train of thinking. You know what I mean?
Right, because, you know what I'm saying, and to build on what you said, again, like, as black people, we want to talk about things that affect our community. It's not a shot at you. Like, if you, like, for the most part, it's kind of frustrating, Jerome, because it's like people are so lost, right? Like, they think that they're a part of this upper class when it comes to white people, right? But they don't like y'all either. It's just like it's a
Right.
it's a system. It's a system design. It's classism is what it is, right? And y'all take that and y'all run with it whenever we speak about something that we want or what we need or what we require. And all we're doing is trying to figure out solutions to our problems. So it really serves no purpose for you to come on our platform and give your opinion when it's racist, because when you come at me and you simply you throw out Black Lives Matter as something that you just think I support because you see me as a black man or you see me talking about black topics, that tells me where your ideologies are. That tells me what you think of me as a person off top, because you're using regurgitated talking points. You're playing devil's advocate. You're trying to get a rise. And that's why we really don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. So you can keep it to yourself.
Right.
Like, stop it.
Listen, I had somebody that's really near and dear to me. He came on there when he saw that clip that I posted. He came on there and was like, well, just in time. He was like, Joe Biden, something just in time for something. I said, what exactly does that have to do with my topic? You want to throw out my, like, you because you think I'm not critical of Joe Biden, or you think that I voted for him blindly? As I keep trying to tell y'all motherfuckers, I voted for Mickey Mouse. I wasn't voting for neither one of them. I don't subscribe to that lesser to evil motto, fam. Like, straight up, I don't. But that was a joke, by the way, me voting for Mickey Mouse. But basically, what I'm getting at is like, like people like Kyrie said, they like to attack us with regurgitated talking points. Like, I've told y'all I'm kind of like in the middle with my ideology. I take good things from the conservative party, good things from the liberals, and good things from in between. If it's a good policy, I'm a human. If it's a good policy, it's a good policy. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna vote for my interests at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So like But it's just crazy how people think when, like I said, they see you and they don't want to listen to the whole thing, or they hear a clip of you and they automatically assume what you're all about, and they don't have no clue. Like I said, we critical about all American politicians on this platform. And
go watch the podcast. Shut up. Why are you on here? Delete. But anyway, Drum, you just said something that I want to talk to our people about, right? You talked about you not aligning on one side of the fence. What I want y'all to realize is when it comes to the social pressure of politics, I know it's not the cool thing for Black people to vote for conservative policies, and we more so lean to the Democratic Party, right? But you have to vote in your best interest as a people, whether it be on the Republican side of things or whether it be on the Democratic side of things, because we already have enough troubles as it is when it comes to hyper-partisanship, when it comes to the Senate, when it comes to Congress, and why we can't get things done and why we have these stalemates because of hyper-partisanship. We don't need that in the community. What we need is to vote for the people that are going to put laws and regulations in place that will help us, that will better our schools, that will better our communities. So if it's Republican or if it's Democrat, it really don't matter because the two-party system's flawed in the first place. We need to be looking at other options.
Facts, big facts. Whatever, like I said, whatever your interest is, man, and whatever your interests align with. Lisa, where you been at the whole episode? You gonna come in here late? I ain't gonna never text you nothing again. But anyway, shout out to you, Lisa, man, and congratulations to you, by the way. But Kyrie, bro, I think we could put a button on this, brother. Do you have anything else to add? I think we hit all our talking points.
Nah, I gotta go to the gym.
To the gym. I got to go to the gym. Well, I shouldn't do that. That's racist. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm trying to lose my titties.
Hey, listen, y'all. It's been thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. Like, subscribe, comment, share this with FOMO people. Don't forget to go support our good brother Nurse Mahdi of Be Clear. Click the link in the description. Also, we have merch for all the people who support our show. Like I said, click the link that's in the description as well. Also, don't forget about the audio side. Y'all got to show that some love, man, because y'all be over here on YouTube going crazy. Like y'all can listen to in the background while y'all at work or while y'all on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? Like we try to keep it light for y'all, but yeah, man, subscribe, bro. Go on our podcast platform on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast at. We syndicated everywhere, Caster Box, Stitcher, whatever you listen to your podcast on. We there, cuz. So just go ahead and find Unlabeled, like and subscribe, comment, rate our podcast. All that stuff helps our algorithm, y'all. So that's why we actually do that. That's free support. We're not asking y'all to buy nothing. We actually ought to come through and click on a few things. You know what I'm saying? That supports us, and we want to grow, because like I said, we trying to uplift our community, we trying to tell our stories, and we trying to grow, man, because like I said, we got a lot of people in our community doing great things. We got a lot of talented artists, we got a lot of talented musicians, everything, and if y'all know them, send them our way, fam. If y'all have a story to tell as listeners on our show, a lot of y'all are our close friends, you know what I'm saying, hit us up and be a part of the conversation, fam.
Very well said, my brother.
All right, man, but on that note, this has been part 1 of our 100th episode. We'll be back with the whole gang on Sunday. Hey, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all on Sunday with another episode of Unlabeled the Podcast. Peace.
Peace.